Hey y'all, this is AL Thick Madame and Cinnamon Sugar. I'm somewhere I ain't supposed to be right because I'm eating bad. But I don't want to eat at home just yet. I want to eat tomorrow. Um, but this is the thing. The only thing that hasn't bothered my stomach was these pepperoni pretzel. I think they're called pizza pepperoni pretzels from Sam's, right? And I had never had any food from out of Sam's ever in life. So I was like, dang, they keep talking about the food good and it's a decent price, whatever. So I saw them and they was looking good. So I got some of those. And I heard about the hot dogs. So I got the hot dogs. The hot dogs, I mean, they weren't bad, but I didn't need none of any of the things I got. But the pretzels didn't bother me at all. Everything else I've been eating so far, even though it has barely been anything, has been bothering me. So when I go home, I am going to get some apples and oranges and things of that nature because every year during Christmas time, that's what my parents get. And so I just sat up here and I done went to Zaxby's again, someplace I ain't got no business going since I have to settle for less than what I have had my mouth set for all day. And what I wanted, they didn't have, and I'm like, then they told me they ain't got no Sprite, and I'm like, I ain't got nothing. Okay, anyway, so what I settled for, I had to wait forever for that. At least they were nice about everything, cool, whatever. So I was like, oh well, I'm gonna go ahead and come over here to McDonald's to get me a Sprite, because that's typically $1 no matter where you at, and get a large one so I can sip off that for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? If I'm gonna be bad, I'm just gonna be all the way bad, whatever. So that's what I'm doing. I'm sitting here in line. We just waited for 10 minutes for the line to finally start moving. I don't know what was going on. This woman who was in front of me ended up leaving because she had been sitting here. Like, everybody had already been sitting here before I got here. So I'm next in line, even though they got 2 lanes right here. I remembered that there was a McDonald's right here going up the boulevard if it didn't go away or whatever, and it was still here. So I was like, oh, let me pull over and get this. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to eat when I get to my aunt's house because I'm going to my mama's sister's house. The same person who is my mama's best friend. I'm going to her house. I'm heading to her house. So I'm going to eat when I get to her house. My food probably going to be cold by the time I get there. It's all right right now, but I don't know. Anyway, I just want to eat. Like, I done had my mouth set to eat those pretzels, and nothing was there. It looked like they had an abundance of hot dogs coming out the back there. If I would have had my mouth set for a hot dog, they probably wouldn't have had them. So anyway, I won't complain because I wasn't even supposed to be eating none of this stuff. So yeah. Anyway, I'm in line waiting to get a Sprite. So, are you gonna leave? Okay, thank you, ma'am. Let me pause this. I really don't know why I didn't keep that going because all I did was order a Sprite. But yeah, y'all. So anyway, am I gonna use my card? I mean, whatever. It don't matter if I use my card or not. But yeah, y'all, I'm over here getting stuff I don't need to be eating or whatever. So I had already done a little video, but I haven't uploaded it. I'm not sure if I will or not because, like, it was just kind of me being shocked a lot. Like, I'm really trying to tell y'all what happened on my way getting up here, and I was just like, wait a minute. Like, it was too much. I just kept catching myself being like, oh my goodness, what is this about? Like, it was too much going on, y'all. But anyway, I'm going to try to tell y'all while I'm on my way to my aunt's house. Her house is like 10 minutes away from here. And I don't know if I'm going to get caught by all the lights now all of a sudden because I was getting through all the lights until I decided to get off and come right here. So let me tell y'all what was going on. Okay, so y'all know I left out a couple of days ago to start my trek to Montgomery, Alabama from Virginia. Cool. I'm driving and I'm in all the weather. It's wintry mix, then it just turned into just rain. And despite all that, really wasn't no traffic out there like that. So I was kind of by myself most of the time. So then I entered into North Carolina, and then that's when, I had a little bit of traffic with me, and then the rain started back up. Child, apparently they had already prepped for the possibility of black ice and all that stuff because the rain was going to come. So I started to not be able to really see while my windshield wipers were going, and I'm like, it ain't foggy, so what is going on right here? It's got to be that salt solution. So, I done already concluded that. So every now and again, like every couple of minutes, I had to do window washing fluid in order to be able to see. And I'm like, Lord. Then it's just the fact that from Virginia all the way to Alabama, the Department of Public Safety or whoever, the Department of Motor Vehicles, y'all already know what I'm talking about. The people who's supposed to do the roads and things. The only thing that was halfway saving me was some of the reflectors that were on the street or on the side of the street, because I had to focus on those really, really hard, all while fighting to see through the rain and the stuff that was coming up on my windshield. Oh my gosh, hold on, y'all. Child, a lady who was in front of me, apparently she just bypassed the window and didn't pay, and I get up to the window, they asking me, did I pay for something? I'm like, no, I just ordered a large Sprite with no ice. They literally just handed out the window. Look at this. So now she paying at the window. I'm like, why didn't you pay when you were at the window a second ago? I'm confused. You were supposed to pay at the first window. Anyway, so yeah, y'all. So I'm fighting, trying to see through the rain, trying to see through like all of this. I'm just like thankful it's not snowing, because it was wintry mixed something terrible before I left out. So I'm like, come on now. I think because she used the mobile app, that made it even worse, whatever she got going on. So anyway, y'all, get into North Carolina. I get something on my phone that actually says, welcome to North Carolina. You have made it to North Carolina. Whatever it is, however it was that they, welcome to me to North Carolina. Now, you have to keep in mind that I have not used an app or anything to travel in quite some time. So I had no idea that they've updated and now they tell you welcome to whatever state that you're entering into. Most of the time, I just see the sign and I'm excited because I see the sign. And not just because I see other signs that clearly are basically, naming off the various cities that are in these various states. So I done got to North Carolina, everything fine. I'm riding through there, it's raining. So then it gets to a point where I'm about to cross into South Carolina, but for some reason when I crossed into South Carolina, it didn't say welcome to South Carolina. Cool, whatever. So I had already figured out that I was there because of certain cities or whatever, like I just mentioned, right? Man, tell me why it actually got foggy. It started actually becoming for real foggy, and I had to fight to see because of the solution, and it was raining on and off really, really heavy, and the roads are terrible. Cannot see the white strips, cannot see the yellow strips. Sometimes it took quite some time before I would see a reflective strip on the road, and I'm like, come on now, can't nobody see? Like, it was a mess. So in every state there was they had it where there was road work being done. At first it only said, I think, North Carolina and Georgia, or North Carolina and South Carolina, and that was it. And I was like, okay. But it was everywhere. It was every single place I went through, including when I was leaving out, and I was like, Lord have mercy. So anyway, it just was what it was. So I had to fight all up until I got into Georgia. Now, right before I passed into Georgia, coincidentally, I stopped to get gas, because I was like, no. As soon as I started seeing Atlanta signs, I was like, I'm not stopping. I'm not stopping in Georgia to get gas. I'm just not. Y'all, my anxiety, it already was through the roof, because I don't like driving long distances, but I got to do what I got to do. I need to see my mama. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. So as soon as I started seeing the signs, I thought about it. I was like, no, I ain't got time to get caught up. Let me go ahead. Whenever the next gas station come about, I'm going to stop when I feel comfortable. So I ended up stopping at a BP gas station. But I was saying to myself, I should be really, really close to entering into Georgia if I'm not already into Georgia. What is going on? Child, I knew this heifer was going to be trouble as soon as I saw her in the, her rearview mirror looking back at me. They done handed all kinds of stuff back to her and some more. I can't. So anyway, so when I got in the car, I put everything back on, the navigational system and stuff back on, because that mug was still talking to me when I went in the store. When I stopped, I'm going to the bathroom and I'm filling up. So I filled up. I'm glad that the man was nice, because I ain't know what it was, because he was looking at me sideways when I first came in there, because I went to the bathroom. I waved, but I was like, dang, you ain't waving back? You ain't gonna say good morning or nothing back to me? Well, okay. So when I came back out, I told him, I needed gas or whatever. And so he was like, all right. because I didn't know how much I really was gonna need, I only was like, let me get 25, and I actually could have put way more because it's premium and it was actually higher than everywhere else that I normally go get gas from, which is only one place. But I figured that it was gonna be different, of course, because I was out of town. Well, I could have put like maybe 10, 15 more in there, and I would have been able to, do what I needed to do, because it actually was way more than a fourth of a tank left. But like I said, I can't stand driving through Atlanta. I ain't got time for it. What in the world, ma'am? So anyway, by the time I turn the navigational system on and I start driving, tell me why within 10 minutes it tells me, welcome to Georgia. And I'm like, I knew I was close. I knew I was either here or I was close. What in the... See, this is what this is why I shouldn't have did this. I know I was wrong anyway. I shouldn't have done any of this because I'm not even supposed to be eating this stuff and drinking none of this stuff. I should not have even done this. I was supposed to been at my aunt's house. Supposed to been done. Y'all, I'm supposed to be going seeing the baby daddy that I never had. Like, it's too many things going on. But I gotta go see my mama today. It's my mama's birthday, so I'm definitely gonna be up in her face. I got like a little charcuterie board situation that I brought with me when I went to the store that they gonna eat. I know they gonna eat it. I want to see what this one particular cheese tastes like, even though I don't need it, but they gonna eat it. It's strawberries, all kinds of good things on here. It look cute, it look nice, and hopefully it was worth my money. So anyway, y'all, I done crossed into Georgia. I'm excited. And so I got like almost 200 miles, I think, until it was time for me to pass through Atlanta. So I'm like, let me prepare myself. By the time, and so I'm already anxious already. So I'm looking like, okay, why the sun ain't came up yet? Or why has the sky not awakened yet, if you will? It ain't doing nothing. And I'm like, baby, it's almost 8 o'clock. What is going on here? Now, whether it's a cloudy day or not, like, it wasn't doing none of that. And I was just like, what is going on? It ain't even raining no more. Come on now. So it just wouldn't do nothing. And I'm like, we cannot see the street. Please, Lord. Like, it took until pretty much 8 o'clock for the sky to open up for me to be able to even see anything on the street. And then it was like dreary, and it was kind of trying to rain a little bit through that first little part of Georgia before I got to Atlanta. So I was like, I had already prayed, and I said, Lord, even if it rain and do whatever everywhere else, please do not let it be raining or having no kind of random weather when I got to pass through Atlanta. Because normally when I pass through Atlanta, it's 80 miles per hour, the highest speed, and I think maybe 40 or 50, the lowest you can go, and everybody be going 150. I'm just saying, and you got to try to fight to get in and get over the way you need to go, right? So I already be having to like prepare myself. Child, please, when I got there, the first time ever in life of me driving through there, and I've driven through there several times in my life, long before now, I'm driving through there, and we almost at a standstill. I'm like, what happened? What's going on, baby? Almost at a standstill, braking along the way. Like, I had been using my setting my cruise control before that, because I'm like, you shouldn't do all this other stuff if you don't need to, because you end up burning all this gas that you don't need to, because you're braking and accelerating more and doing the most. And so, like, I was able to get a good amount of gas mileage. Y'all, let me hold on for a second. Y'all, I'm so sick and tired of these people. I don't know what to do. Anyway, I'm about to head to my aunt's house, because this is just too much. My aunt been excited to see me again. She was like, man, should you come back and see me again? I'm looking at her like, no, you know good well you ain't even have to say none of this. I was coming again before I leave. I might pop up again tomorrow. So, I mean, it is what it is. Like, you apparently don't know me. I live for my aunt. Like, y'all don't understand. I'll explain to y'all who she is at a later date and time, because, she has definitely been that girl. Go ahead and go, baby, because I ain't got time for no wreck. Because you over here in the middle of the street trying to wreck your own car out. You ain't finna get me. Anyway, y'all, so once I get on this street, I'll start back talking, because it's just ignorant right now. I ain't got time for it. I ain't got time to wreck out because they don't know how to drive. Come on by, baby. Come on. Don't you even try it, because you know you're wrong. Get on across the street. So anyway, y'all, I'm back on the bypass. So anyway, the Southern Boulevard, for those of y'all who from around here. If you ain't from around here, if you ain't from my hood, you can get from around here. Let me calm down. I'm being playful. I don't trust y'all Don't bust over here and hit me. Thank you. Anyway, so what was I saying? So anyway, we come almost to a standstill. We are pretty much like snails, and I'm just like, Lord, don't nobody have time for this. And there were no work crews out, there was no weather, wasn't no accident, and I'm like, why are we going slow? But then, to make it so bad, the people who were going towards Atlanta, coming back the way that I'm coming from, they were at a complete stop. I'm like, Lord, please don't do this to me. Luckily, my entire life, anytime I've had to travel, either there was no road work the way that I was going, or it was a situation where they was doing something on the other. It was just always something going on the other side and not the side I was on. So this was the time where it was slow, but it still wasn't as bad as it was on the other side. So I was thankful for that. Come to find out, y'all, I think my cousin that I told y'all about who had the stroke, I'm pretty sure that her sister had her in that traffic. Just so happened to be in that traffic. And they were at a standstill. Unless they went the back way. I think she went the back way, so hopefully that's what that was. But yeah, didn't get to see her. She had just told my daddy that she wanted to talk to me and all this other stuff. And see, since nobody knew I was coming, nobody knew to prepare for me. But we gonna have to get on the phone and just talk, because she be wanting to talk. And she thankfully, even though all of the stuff has happened to her the way that it did when it came to the stroke, when it comes down to the stroke, she wants to talk. She actually has forgotten my sister's name at times, and she's asked my daddy. It was like, hey, what's your daughter's name? Whose name start with an M and all this other stuff? And I'm just like, Lord have mercy. And it's like she knows it, but she can't get it out. But the fact that she at least knows that it starts with an M, I'm thankful for that. But she specifically asked for me by name and be like, hey, I want to speak to Belinda. When I'm gonna speak to her, when I'm gonna see her, I really want to see her. I really want to talk to her again. And my daddy says she's just very talkative, be wanting to talk to people, and it kind of be about to bring tears to my eyes. But I'm thankful that despite everything that happened to her, she's still in good spirits, and everybody is still taking great care of her. She loves to travel, so everybody be taking her back and forth to various places. So I'm very, very excited about that. Happy for her. I'm gonna see if they will allow us to exchange numbers, because like I told them before, I didn't know whether or not she gets on a phone and talks to people. I know she be wanting to talk in person, because the last time I did talk to her, it was because my daddy was on video chat with me, and ended up she knew that he was on the phone with me, and she was excited because he was about to call me, and he was like, hey, Belinda, I got somebody want to talk to you. And I'm like, okay, because the last time he did it, I was kind of like, I don't know about all this. He knows I'm very finicky about certain people, because even though he, remains cool with people, if they try him, to me, that's like you trying me. So I don't like when you try to test my daddy gangster. My daddy do too much for our entire family. Like, don't do that. So I don't know. I don't know what I'm gonna say. I try to hold my mule, and I'm like, no, you didn't try my daddy, so I ain't got time to fool with you. So anyway, get on over. What is going on? Could you get on over? I'm trying to get to my auntie house. So anyway, y'all, but that's what happened with that. So anyway, y'all, I done finally made it into the city, right? Finally, I done got through the traffic. But wait a minute, before I even get through Atlanta, I'm in downtown Atlanta, right? The signs are telling me, I'm waiting on the sign that's gonna tell me I need to get over, where the navigational system is gonna tell me I need to get over, right? I don't never get there. It tells me to get off the exit. So I'm like, wait a minute, traffic is too thick for all this. Like, why is it telling me to get off? But because I'm paranoid, and I already told y'all my anxiety is at an all-time high, I'm like, all right, let me just do what it's saying. It done took me off. And I ain't gonna lie to y'all, the area that it took me off, it reminded me of something, and I feel like I've been through that particular part of Atlanta before, way back in the day. So, but then it put me right back on the interstate, and I was just like, what was this for? I don't know, but I was like, oh, okay, I don't know what this was for, but go off though. So, yeah, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go on up this street, because for some reason I'm finna miss this light because of these folks. They done elongated this light where I have to wait to get on this street to where my aunt lives, but I'm gonna go on up the street and go the back way. Anyway, y'all, so I want to know who this person is in this Charger. This ain't my cousin. I don't think my aunt's son. He has about 15 cars. Jesus. He the one I told y'all is a gangster, a thug, and everything else, child. He is who he is. And anyway, so if they get behind me, I'm gonna know it's him. Because he has several. I don't think it's him. This Charger is too plain. He got something, a scat or something. What they call him, a scat pack and all this other stuff. Oh, he done went on by whoever it is. But they had made a point to get over and follow me at one point in time. Yeah, I see you, sir. So yeah, y'all. So all this done went down, and I'm just like, so it done rerouted me back to the interstate, and I'm like, okay. So now that I'm back on the interstate, I'm still paranoid because even though the traffic isn't as bad, I'm just like, okay, y'all tell me why. Eventually it tells me I had entered into Alabama, which, you know, the sign was there. Now all through Georgia now, everybody that got pulled over was somebody driving an 18-wheeler. Like not one person had been pulled over that was driving a normal vehicle like me. And I was just like, okay, what they got going on? So smuggling, oh, okay. So I'm trying to be mindful. I'm still doing what I'm supposed to do. So, what is that? Oh, so I'm like, okay, cool. And then once I get into Alabama, you know, I'm like, oh, okay, at least I'm finally in Alabama, cool. Like to say, this probably better be on point because it ended up being way too much. This Sprite was almost $2. Sprite's supposed to be $1, even with the added soda tax. It ain't supposed to be no more than like $1.15 or something like that here. Child, please, this thing was almost $2. But go off though. So anyway, so as I got closer to familiar parts of Alabama, like Tuskegee and all that stuff, that mom said, there is a speed trap ahead. I said, wait a minute now. Y'all doing too much. Like, I hadn't been told about no speed traps at all. At all. Since I had been driving. And I had passed a couple. You know what I'm saying? Mainly like once the sky opened up. So I'm looking like, all right now, what's going on right here? And it did it for like 3 different times. One time when I was going through Tuskegee or something like that. One time when I had actually gotten into Montgomery, and another time when I was in another part of Montgomery. And I was like, y'all done went off. Never had anything to tell me about no speed trap. Like straight up be like, there is a speed trap ahead. I used to love this park up here, y'all. It's a very basic, small park, but I used to walk up from my aunt's house to go to it and play. Like, this used to be, like, the place to be. I used to love being over here. Everybody that got old, moved away, and everything else, but it is what it is. Let me go ahead. I don't know who this is. But, yeah, y'all, I'm about to be at my aunt's house right now. She's expecting me and all that good stuff. Let me see if it's somewhere to park, because, child, his girlfriend here, all these other random people here, and I'm a parking. I got enough room, I think, to whoop on up in here behind whoever this is. He gon' one of his monster vehicles and things. Jesus, they be trying to figure out who I am. I'm like, this my auntie house, honey. Y'all visiting. I'm supposed to be here. Y'all ain't. I'm trying to figure out why people trying to look up in my mouth. Don't worry about who I am. Anyway, y'all, I'm gonna finish this and then I'm gonna go ahead and get into my aunt. But yeah, y'all, I'm at her house. So yeah, let me finish telling y'all. So I'm over here debating on what I'm gonna do, right? And so I was like, look, I know my folks get up around a certain time. I got here like around 10 something or 11 something. I think it was 11 something their time because they're an hour behind. And so I was like, okay, they might be still asleep because they're night owls. So that's what I'm banking on. Oh, they're asleep. Yeah, my cousin's Charger's over there, y'all. He has other vehicles too. Like, it's a Charger and something else that's like more elaborate than that. He got a lot of things. He got a Lincoln. He got a Vic, a couple of Crown Vics. He got about 5, 6, 7 vehicles, child. Anyway, so I'm trying to figure out what I'm gonna do. So I said, okay, let me go get gas. I went to the place I have a membership at to get gas, and I went in there and never had the food before. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go get the food. I'm going to go get some food first because I'm hungry, because I make a point not to eat or drink while I'm on the road. But I ate a couple of pieces of something and drank a little bitty bottle of water throughout the whole duration of the 10 hours that I had to drive to get to the house or whatever, to get to Montgomery, because I ain't got time to black out on the road. But by the time I finally got there, my head started hurting and all that. I was like, yeah, I need to eat. I ain't got time. So I was like, well, let me see what they got. Finally get through the line, and I was very, interested in the pizza. I think it's called a pepperoni pizza pretzel. Oh, that thing was so good. I got 2 of those, 2 hot dogs, and a drink. Well, I ended up getting 2 drinks because they were like, oh, it come with a meal. You want to get 2? I'm going to give you 2. I was like, okay, whatever. Had one that I was able to drink. The other one went flat by the time I was going to drink it like way later on, like 5-6 hours later, even though I put it in the refrigerator. So I was like, whatever. And so that ended up being what it was going to be, right? So I was like, okay, all right. What time is it? Because I need to get my behind to going. I'm going to try to leave home by 6:30. 7 at the latest. But I'm at my aunt's house. I'm going to stay here about 30 minutes. And I'm probably going to come back by again tomorrow. So, but anyway, y'all. So, I'm trying to kill time. So, had I known certain things, y'all, I would have went on ahead and went home. Went straight home as soon as I got here. Despite the fact I might have been hungry. I would have got me apples, oranges, ate that when I was at the house. Or whatever, right? Child, I done did these things. Nobody knows I'm here outside of my friends. 2 of my friends. One that's in Alabama and one of them that's still in Virginia, even though she's not from there. So they're the only ones that know I'm there, like at that moment. So then I said to myself, all right, let me just go ahead and go to the house. So I go to the house. I'm debating, okay, am I going to go sit in on my sister at the courthouse? What am I going to do? Am I going to go and sit in on court? Am I going to, pop up? Because I didn't know if she was at work or not. I figured she was, and this might have been the last day they would have been working, but I really wanted to see her in action if she was there. And then I was like, dang, I don't know. So then it ended up being a situation where I was like, okay, I'm going to just go home. Because I wanted to say to myself, should I pop up at my aunt's house? The one whose house I'm at right now. I was like, no, I need to lay eyes on my mama first. Y'all, let me tell y'all how everything went. I'm going to go real fast because I'm trying to be done before it hit 30 minutes, right? Okay, so I got to the house. I'm looking around. My daddy, he is the type of person, he outside, tending to the garden, doing something, working on a vehicle, doing something. He was there. I knew he was there. I saw his vehicle there. So I'm like, is he outside? Hopefully he ain't outside. I didn't know if he was outside or what. He wasn't outside, y'all. So then I got out of the car. Because it's wintertime, it was too cold for the dog to be outside. So they have a padded little nice setup for the dog in the house, and she got her cage and all this other stuff. So they got a nice setup for the dog. So she won't freeze outside. So that was something that saved me, because that heifer would have been barking trying to figure out who I was. So I got up there, I parked the car. But where I parked in front of where you could look out the peephole and see. So then I got out the car, and even though I instinctively hit the little thing, the alarm or whatever, so that it'll lock the car, I was like, dang, hopefully ain't nobody hit me. So I don't know who's awake at this moment, if anybody. And I know my daddy probably awake because he sleeps and barely sleep and everything else, child. So I'm trying to think, who am I going to call, my brother or my daddy? I end up video messaging my daddy. I'm like, hey, daddy, what you doing? He was like, oh, I'm sitting to the fire. I'm doing this, I'm doing that. I was like, oh, okay. And I'm looking like he should be able to see my background and see I'm on this front porch. He ain't paying attention. I said, well, daddy, y'all need to check and see if y'all got another package outside, because everything had been delivered like the day prior. So I was like, dang it. Even though in all actuality, for real, I don't think it did, because I think I'm gonna light a package and I'm gonna check that when I get to the house. I'm gonna open everything up outside of them being able to see it, because I'm like, nah, a package is for me, one is for my brother, and one is for my sister. My dad and my mama getting money, they don't know that though, because that's what I do for them most of the time. And the gift that I wanted to give for my daddy, that was an actual gift, they didn't have his size, so I was like, dang, I'm just gonna give him some money, whatever. Y'all, I'm gonna go over 30 minutes, my bad, y'all. So anyway, I'm just like, okay, let me see what I'm gonna do. So he gonna sit up here and go to the front door. He was like, no, I don't see no package out here. Then proceeded to go back inside and then go to the back where my mama was at and was like, hey, did the thing go off? And say that somebody came or something, because they have something set up where if somebody passed by, they know that a truck came, even if you don't hear a loud truck that's coming all the way down our driveway. Child, my mom was like, yeah, somebody came, but yeah, I heard it go off. And he was like, what? Because he told me he ain't hear nothing go off. So I'm like, Lord, why won't he just come to the door? So I done stepped to the side, hoping he gonna finally go out the door, because I was about to say, well, Daddy, why don't you check the other door? because I saw you went out the front door. That's what I was going to say. So eventually I see him walking. I'm like, I think he walking through the kitchen. Okay. So he walking, and he finally come to the door that I'm at, y'all. And I'm to the side. So he like, who car is that? And I looked over like this. I said, hey, Daddy, how you doing? He was like, oh, Lord, what you doing here? He done stepped back, y'all. Oh, my gosh. I got him so good. He didn't look out the peephole. He did not look at the peephole. So that's one of the things that saved me. And I was like, yes. Because I was scared. I was like, ooh, he going to look at the peephole just to be nosy. And I mean, it's not like I rang the doorbell or anything, but me, instinctively, I'm looking out the door first. You know, I don't know. I'm weird. I know if I would have said something to my brother probably would have looked out the peephole first. I don't know. But I'm kind of glad that I reached out to my daddy first. So I got him. So then went in the house. My dad was like, come on in. Come on back. Come on back. So my mom was like, who you letting in this house? And I wanted to laugh so bad I had to stop myself. So then I peeked around the corner. I was like, hey, Mom, how you doing? And it's like she was shocked. Y'all don't understand. It's really hard to like surprise my mama. It's really, 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 really hard to surprise my mama. And I could tell by the look on her face that she was surprised. And she was like, what you doing? She was like, what you doing here? Y'all, it was so good. I got them so good. Now, my brother was getting ready to go deliver presents to certain people or whatever. So I think he heard that I was there, but he didn't come out because he was getting ready or whatever. So I was just going to see him later on. And so, yeah, y'all, I'm going to come back to give y'all a part 2 of the rest of that day and what has been happening up until then. So I guess after I see old boy, we'll see how that go. Because, child, I don't know how this going to go. Because I already told him we're going to fight. It's been 15 years. We're supposed to be at fault. We supposed to duke it out. It's all kinds of things supposed to be in the popped off, child. So we gonna see. But the temperature dropping, everything dropping. Let me get in here and see my auntie and eat real quick so I can get down to the house and spend some time with my mama for her birthday. All right, y'all. Wish my mama a happy birthday in the comment section. I've had my cousin, thank you so much for sending me some money for gas. I really do greatly appreciate it. Tell me why your uncle gonna sit up here and say, oh, well, I'm gonna give you some money too. I said, Daddy, no, you ain't giving me no gas money. So he over here ignoring me. I said, Daddy, you're not giving me no gas money. So yeah, y'all. But we gonna see how they go. But yeah, y'all, let me let y'all see what the thing look like. This is what it looked like. I'm just showing it to y'all from the back. But that's what it looked like. Look, this is what the thing on it that I got from the store, child. So hopefully they'll like it. And we gonna see how that go. But anyway, let me go in here and see about my auntie. And eat. Cause she gonna talk my head off a little bit while I'm eating. And yeah, but anyway, all right, y'all, thank y'all so much for tuning in. Definitely pray for my safe travels. I leave out tomorrow night, late tomorrow night, Christmas night at the absolute latest, midnight. I think my cousin about to roll up, or somebody, one of his friends or somebody. I don't know who this is. No, that's somebody else. But anyway, y'all, all right, I will see y'all later on. Thank y'all so much for your prayers and the donations. Have a good one. Season's greetings. Bye.